Hello everyone, this is Satoshi Boomin here coming at you with another video. This is the second video of my channel, and if you're new here, welcome. Thank you so much for joining me. It's an honor for you to be here, and it's an honor for me to share my love for Bitcoin with the world and cryptocurrencies. Today we have a very special video. I'm going to be going over what is Bitcoin, why you should care about Bitcoin, and what gives it its value. I think that a lot of people don't know or don't realize what Bitcoin has done for the world and what it can do for the world in the future. And I just want to say that in these videos I don't have a script, so if I say a lot, sorry. I'm not a really natural speaker, as you can tell, but you know, I'm here and I love Bitcoin, and I hope you do too. And it's great to have people, have a community where you can talk about these kind of things, and I would love to be a part of that. So without further ado, let's get on with the video. So what is Bitcoin? We're just gonna go ahead and read this here. Bitcoin is a cryptocurrency. It is a decentralized digital currency without a bank or a central administrator that can be sent from user to user on the peer-to-peer Bitcoin network without the need for intermediaries. Now, why is this important? Well, because if we look around the world today, we are clearly in uncertain times. Governments are shutting down, whole economies are shutting down, people are afraid. I believe in Lebanon, they have had a credit freeze recently, and what a credit freeze is when you go to your bank, you try to get money out, you can't. The bank is like, no. This happens because the currencies are unstable in those countries, and excuse me, people don't trust the currency anymore, so they rush to take it out because they don't know if the currency is going to be valuable or not. So with that, also the prices of goods go up, so they need more cash in order to buy certain things due to hyperinflation and other economic factors. So it's important to have a currency that can't be shut down, that if you wanted to take out your Bitcoin, or if you wanted to trade your Bitcoin, a government or any other entity couldn't tell you you couldn't do it. Bitcoin doesn't care about your race. Bitcoin doesn't care about where you live or what political affiliation you might have. Bitcoin is Bitcoin, and one Bitcoin is always going to equal one Bitcoin. You can't print billions and trillions of Bitcoin. There's only going to be 21 million Bitcoin, and we're going to talk about that later throughout history. So let's continue. Transactions are verified by network nodes through cryptography and recorded through a public distributed ledger called a blockchain. Why is this important? Because Bitcoin is immutable. In order for transactions to be verified, they have to be correct. If they aren't correct, then the whole block is invalid. And an only way to change something on the distributed ledger here, and I know I'm moving my mouse around pretty fast, it can be very distracting. I've got to stop doing that. But the distributed ledger is public and immutable. If you wanted to change something that has been recorded on the distributed ledger, you would need to change every single other block on that ledger chain, and that's kind of impossible. Bitcoins are created as a reward for a process known as mining. They can be exchanged for other currencies, products, and services. Yeah, so we will get into mining a bit later. Let's actually scroll on down here to mining. So Bitcoin works off a proof of work consensus algorithm. And what that means is that in order to create Bitcoin, you need to harness computer processing power. And what that means is these Bitcoin miners here, you can see here, what these do is they run a specific computer algorithm. These are called, these are actually GPUs, graphical processing units. And what these do is they solve complex computer algorithms, and that costs power, like electricity. And through that electricity, they solve these problems, and they validate transactions on the blockchain. And once a transaction is validated, the miner gets a reward. Now, in the video I talked about yesterday, those coins were proof of stake, and that's the opposite, kind of the opposite of what proof of work does. So you solve these algorithms, you validate transactions on the blockchain, and you get a reward. And that reward currently is about 12.5 Bitcoin per, right here, as of July 2016, the reward amounted to 12.5 newly created Bitcoins per block added to the blockchain. In a couple of days, and we'll get to this later, that is actually going to be cut in half, and I'll tell you why that's good. So as we can see here, Bitcoin is extremely important. And why it's so important is right here. In other words, Nakamoto, who is the creator of Bitcoin, we don't know if Satoshi Nakamoto is one person or a group of people. We don't know who Satoshi Nakamoto is. I don't think we'll ever know. If we do ever find out, he's probably dead or long dead, I think. But Bitcoin gets a scarcity because you can't just print Bitcoin. Like gold, it needs to be mined. Gold, you need to mine it out of the ground. That costs expensive technology. That costs expensive, backhoes and mining equipment and electricity and gas. With Bitcoin, it costs a huge amount of electricity in order to power those GPUs, in order to solve those extremely hard equations. Bitcoin, there can only be 21 million Bitcoin ever created. If we look up here, the Bitcoin protocol specifies that the reward for adding a block will be halved every 210,000 blocks, approximately every four years. Eventually, the reward will decrease to 0 at the limit of 21 million Bitcoins. Okay, so right now the block reward is 12.5, but that's going to get cut down in 10 days. Okay, so we all know, if you've been in the crypto community for a very long time, we all know about the Bitcoin halving. Okay, now remember, if you validate a transaction, you get 12 Bitcoin. Now it's going to be cut down to 6.25. Let's take a look. What is a block halving event? That's the Bitcoin halving. As a part of Bitcoin's issuance, miners are rewarded a certain amount of Bitcoins whenever a block is produced, approximately every 10 minutes. Every 10 minutes, that's how much time passes before a transaction is validated. Excuse me. When Bitcoin first started, 50 Bitcoins per block were given as a reward to miners. After every 210,000 blocks are mined, approximately every 4 years, the block reward halves and will keep on halving until the block reward becomes 0. I don't think it ever actually hits 0. I just think it goes down to 0.0001 infinity. So yeah, as of now, the block reward is 12.5, and it will decrease to 6.25. Okay. So there can only be 21 million Bitcoin ever. So a lot of people who are permanently bullish on Bitcoin will say that, there are not enough millionaires to buy there will be some millionaires that won't be able to buy a Bitcoin because there are only 21 million Bitcoin and there's there's about 1,000, 2,000 millionaires in America alone. So yeah, you do the math. If every millionaire wanted to buy a Bitcoin, it would be impossible. So currently, right now, I believe that you could own 0.25 Bitcoin and you will be in the top 0.28 Bitcoin, and you will be in the top 1% of Bitcoin owners. 99% of the people in the world will not have as much Bitcoin as you. It would be literally impossible. Okay, and we can see the chart here. Inflation, the inflation rate of Bitcoin, and the monetary base of Bitcoin. And that's why you hear, if you have been in the Bitcoin market for a while, you will hear people say $100,000 Bitcoin is possible. I agree. I just don't think that it will take. I think it will take a lot longer than what people are saying. But if we could take a look here, sorry about that. At the first halving, let's go ahead and see if we can zoom in here. Take a look at the first halving. That was around September 2013. Let's zoom out here. We had a big old bull run. Look at that. That's beautiful. And then we dipped down a little bit here, and then had another mega bull run. And then we dipped down and leveled off. The second halving. Let's take a look at when that was. Around September 2016. Oh yeah, we all remember this. I mean, Bitcoin was on fire back then. And I was kicking myself after that happened, because I had heard about Bitcoin all the way down here, in 2012, and I just thought that, I don't know what I was thinking. But now, we're here. And as we can see on the charts here, that, yeah, I mean, we're about here right now. We're looking towards, the halving in about 10 days now. So yeah, we're right on track for another ginormous bull run. I don't see why we wouldn't have one after this. Now, people are speculating that it'll be about 2 months before the bull run. I don't know. 2 months to a year before we have that bull run. But it's just something that we need to just look out for and pay attention to. Okay, so let's scroll down a little bit. Let's see what else we have here. Total Bitcoins in current circulation is about 18 million. Total Bitcoins that will ever be produced is about 21 million. Actually, it is exactly 21 million. And the percentage of total Bitcoins mined, about 87%. We got about 2 million Bitcoins left to be mined. So, I'm excited. The Bitcoin halving is, definitely a major event. But, in reality, the only thing that's going to happen is the algorithm is going to kick in, and, miners are going to be receiving less Bitcoin for their work. But if you understand, whoa, what happened here? Whoa, that is, yeah, sorry about that, guys. Still learning with this camera. I just do one take. I am not gonna edit that out. Anyway, so if you understand supply and demand, even if the demand stays the same and the Bitcoins that are currently being mined get cut in half, do you know what the price should be? A boy can speculate. But I think that during this bull run, which should happen hopefully within the next year, I'm thinking it might take about 6 months due to 19 and all its complications. But in about 6 months, I think we could see a Bitcoin rise. It's approximately about 8,000 now. I don't see why we couldn't have a 13 to 14,000 Bitcoin within the next couple of months. But that's just speculation. So yeah, we went over what is Bitcoin, why it's important, and I think why you should own it. I mean, Bitcoin has outperformed every stock imaginable. It's outperformed gold, oil, real estate, any amount of investment you want to say. It has outperformed it quite dramatically, quite significantly. So yeah, just think about last month. You know, 2 months ago, the great crypto crash of 2020. I mean, we went from 3,000 to 8,000 in a month. Where they do that at? Where they do that at? They don't do that at the stock market. They don't do that at real estate. In the stock market, you should be happy for 8% gains. 8% gains? What? Don't nobody want 8% gains? I want 20% gains, 30% gains. Call me greedy if you want, but I mean, if a duck is a duck and it quacks like a duck. Anyway, to end this video, this long rambly video, I hope you got some kind of value out of it. I'm sure you did, but let's take a look at the markets today. Everything is seeming to trend upwards. Yesterday was kind of a quiet day. Bitcoin 8,000, great. Ethereum still criminally low. I don't know why that's not at 5K. XRP, I'm gonna definitely do a video on XRP and my thoughts on that at a later date. Tether is just being Tether. I mean, I hope they don't shut down Tether. There was some talk about central banks colluding to take it down. Bcash, BSV, still hanging in there after all the FUD about them being a scam. I don't know. BSV maybe is a scam, but you know, as long as it makes people money, I don't really care. Litecoin, EOS, Tezos, definitely gonna do a video on that, and proof of stake. You all know about how I feel about Cardano. That's up. So yeah, it's looking pretty good. Markets are looking pretty good. You know, if you guys enjoyed this, please like, comment, and subscribe. I really want to create a community out of this. I know you guys have a lot of suggestions that you can give me, and I'm very open to them. I'd love to do like a Nano ledger giveaway of some kind. I think that would be a great way to engage with you guys. I think I'm gonna do that if I get enough views on this video. I'd like to do a Nano Ledger S giveaway. You know, all you have to do is like, comment, and subscribe. Please make sure your comment is, you know, relevant though. You know, try to give me something good, ask me a question, give me a suggestion. I know I gotta get a better mic, but I'm trying to work out this software as well. So yeah, it's gonna be a journey. I'm excited. Thank you everyone for listening to me ramble for 20 minutes. I really appreciate it. And you guys have a wonderful day. Goodbye.